You spent money yesterday and you don't remember how much. You remember the coffee, you remember the lunch, you remember clicking confirm, but the number gone. And somehow that feels completely normal. You check your bank account maybe twice a week, sometimes once. You tell yourself you have a rough idea of where things stand, and you probably do. A rough idea. But rough ideas don't prevent the end of month feeling. You know the one? That quiet dread when the statement loads and the total is not what you expected. It's never what you expected. You're not reckless, you're not irresponsible. You know what things cost. You make good decisions most of the time. So why does the number always look bigger than it should? Here's what's actually happening. When you tap your card or click pay, your brain is not processing a financial transaction. It's processing a social interaction, a confirmation, a small, satisfying completion. The pain that used to come with spending, the physical act of handing over cash, watching it leave your hand, that pain has been engineered out of the experience. And without that pain, your brain's spending brake doesn't engage the same way. Think about the last time you paid for something in cash. You felt it. Not metaphorically, physically. Your hand opened, something left it, something real was gone. That moment created a micro pause, a tiny hesitation, a half second where your brain was asked, is this worth it? When you tap a card, that question never gets asked. Not at the same intensity, not even close. You walk into a store intending to buy one thing. You leave with three. You order delivery and add the guacamole, the extra drink, the dessert you weren't going to get. You upgrade the subscription tier, you add the warranty. You don't feel any of it in the moment. You feel it 3 weeks later looking at a line item you don't remember approving. This is not a discipline problem. That's not what this is. Your discipline is fine. What's broken is the feedback loop your brain depends on to make financial decisions in real time. Here's how it works underneath. The brain uses what psychologists call the pain of paying, a term coined by Drazen Prilek and Duncan Semester at MIT in 1998. Their research showed that the discomfort associated with spending money functions as a natural inhibitor. It creates friction. Not enough friction to stop you from buying things you need, but enough to slow down impulsive decisions. Cash maximizes this friction. Credit cards minimize it. Contactless payment eliminates almost all of it. In their original study, Prilek and Semester found that when people paid by credit card for the same item, they were willing to pay more than twice as much as people paying cash. Not 10% more. Not 20%. More than twice. For the same object, in the same room. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people who paid with cards evaluated their purchases less favorably after the fact, meaning they regretted more, got less satisfaction from what they bought, the spending happened faster, the satisfaction happened less. That's the trade-off the system is offering you, and it's offering it invisibly. Your brain evolved to track resources through physical cues, weight, volume, presence. For thousands of years, resources were things you could see and hold. Your brain built an entire accounting system around that. Then, in about 40 years, we abstracted all of that into numbers on a screen and expected the same brain to respond with the same level of caution. It doesn't. It can't. The cues are gone. A 2021 report from the Federal Reserve found that the average American makes over 60% of their purchases using cards or digital payment. That number is higher for people under 45, and it correlates directly with another number, the average American personal savings rate, which hit a historic low of 3.4% in 2022, down from 8.8% in 2019, before the accelerated shift to digital spending during the pandemic. These numbers aren't moving in opposite directions by accident. If this kind of breakdown is useful to you, subscribe. I go deeper on this every week, and what's coming next connects directly to what you just heard. Now here's the part most people miss. The problem isn't the card, the problem isn't even the spending. The problem is that digital payment has broken the mental accounting system your brain uses to feel financially oriented. Not the spreadsheet accounting, the felt sense of where you stand, the internal number, the one that used to be anchored to a physical wallet with a finite amount in it. When you had cash in your wallet, you had a real-time budget, not because you were more virtuous, because the information was right there, visible, physical, unavoidable. When you paid with cash, your wallet got thinner. You could see it, you could feel it. That thinning was data your brain processed automatically without any conscious effort. It updated your internal sense of position. It kept you oriented. Cards removed that feedback without replacing it with anything. The wallet doesn't get thinner. The number on the screen doesn't feel like a number that belongs to you. It feels like a report from somewhere else about someone else's behavior, which is exactly why it keeps surprising you. This is why people who are objectively financially aware, who know what they earn, know what things cost, read the articles, still overspend. It's not a knowledge gap. It's a feedback gap. The brain is flying blind and it doesn't know it. Here's the real insight. The shift from cash to card didn't just change how you pay. It changed your relationship to financial reality. Cash is concrete. Cash is a constraint you can feel. Cards are a deferral, a layer of abstraction between the moment of spending and the moment of consequence. And the human brain, when consequence is deferred, consistently underestimates it. Every time. This is temporal discounting, one of the most documented patterns in behavioral economics. We underweight future pain. Digital payments push every financial consequence further into the future, which means your brain assigns it less weight in the moment of decision. Not because you're failing, because you're working exactly as designed, be in a world that was redesigned around you without your consent. What actually works isn't a budgeting app or willpower or the resolution to be more careful. What works is reintroducing friction, making the abstract concrete again so your brain's native system can function. Some people use cash envelopes for the categories where they overspend most: restaurants, groceries, entertainment. Not because cash is magical, because it reactivates the feedback. The wallet gets thinner, the brain updates. Some people set up a second account with a fixed monthly transfer, their spending account, and never touch anything else for discretionary purchases. When that account gets low, the number has edges. It ends. That ending is information. Some people say the amount out loud before every discretionary purchase, literally out loud, because speaking a number activates different cognitive processing than reading it on a screen. It makes it real. It reintroduces a sliver of the friction the physical world used to provide automatically. None of these are tricks. They're all ways of giving your brain back the information it needs, information that physical money provided automatically and that cards quietly removed. The spending isn't the problem, and the invisibility is. When money is visible, when loss is felt, when consequence is present, you make different choices. Not perfect choices, better ones, not because you changed, because the conditions changed. Every year, you spend without that feedback. You drift slowly. Barely perceptible month to month, but compounded over 5 years, over 10. And you find yourself with an income that's higher than it's ever been, and a savings rate that makes no sense. You're not broke. You're leaking constantly, silently, in amounts your brain never registered as real. The card didn't make you irresponsible. It made you blind, and you can't fix what you can't see. If you recognized yourself in this, subscribe. This is the kind of conversation I have every week, and it only gets more specific from here.